All right, we hear me. What the hell? Stop that. All right, that did it. I hope everyone can hear me okay. Right, here's this. We're gonna find that around. Probably not. See. Hmm. All right. 7, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. We'll see. Any. Very depressing. Yeah. Okay. So that works. Test of Metro Prime on Hold on a Metro Prime Cat. Okay, that's weird. Probably because I have never edited this. Versus, I don't know what. So we're gonna see what happens. Hoping everyone's okay. Well, does anyone know if there is supposed to be a Star Citizen live today? I don't know genuinely if there is. They said so in the monthly report, but for the weekly thing, but I have no idea. Maybe you guys know. Double check the official channel. Let's see the schedules. It's not saying anything today. Definitely odd. So, interesting. That's really weird. Say the least. I don't see Liberators. Hey, Rufus. Odin page up? Oh, it is. I'm looking for it. I don't see it. Uh, hmm. Yeah. I went through the defense. Okay. There it is. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so go through the defense cons. Okay. Oh, there. Okay, so subscriber. Okay. Go through the defense cons. There it is. Okay, let me see what this is. I doubt I could ever afford it. Probably. Oh my god. What is this? Holy. Oh my god, it's massive. Oh my god, I want to scream. Uh, yeah. It comes in 5 colors. Jesus. Can you even buy this? I don't even think you can. Home. Okay, so home. Okay, there it is. So, how do you buy it? Oh, that is so dumb. Yeah. And it's sold in way. Yeah, I'm not pleased at that. That's Jesus. And swallow freaking everything. Hmm. I should have filled out a damn trooper arcade. Okay, that's not. Storm Chaser. Okay, that's not. And it's sold in wave. Okay. Right. Yeah, I get it. It's just huh. it's so goofy to. I think concierge, when you spend X amount, Rufus, and you're an actual player, you should be able to actually throw your hat in. I'm just saying. Not to be conceited, but it is kind of goofy. I mean, I get it, but man. I mean, I get it. It's not that I'm happy about it, though. Doesn't mean I have to be happy about it. So, are we supposed to have an SCL today? Does anyone know? I could have swore we were supposed to have a Star Citizen live today. Oh, it's on YouTube already. Okay. That's goofy. It's on YouTube. Not on Twitch? Huh. Okay, let me. Oh, posted 3 minutes ago. Okay. Wow, it's an hour long. Jesus.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Star Citizen Live DefenseCon Showcase Part.
Yeah, okay, here we go. It looks like it's pre-recorded. Yeah. Looks like it was. Here we go. All right, give me a second.
Part 2, the Anvil Odin. I'm your host, Jared Huckabee, and joining us on the show this week are members of our Steam vehicle teams that were all involved in some way, shape, or form in the creation of the new battlecruiser that we've revealed just today, the Anvil Odin. Starting to my left, you see John Crew.
Hello?
Oh, there we go. Nope, that way. John Crew.
I'm John Crew.
Yeah. Hey, John Crew. That's Dan.
All right.
That's Chris.
Ew.
I don't know why you guys don't get first and last name. He just, in my head, he's always John Crew. We got Mattia. We got Mark. We got Ben.
Hello.
And now, finally, where he belongs, Alberto, tickling the ivories. All right. If you wanted the more involved intro of everybody, check out last week's show, part 1. It's where we did it. It was okay.
But they can't.
We're really sticking to that bit, huh?
There's not like a lot of
they
Italian
can't,
references,
they didn't
isn't
record
there?
that bit.
No, you can't. Well, we don't know where it cut off.
Oh, well, there we go then.
It's on Twitch. The whole thing's on Twitch, including 30 minutes where nobody could hear us and anything, because I thought it would be cool to look behind the scenes. We put a little note up there, and everybody was just like, "There's no audio." You try something.
You did write on the screen.
I know.
Yeah.
You try, but it just.
I know, mate.
That's right. So today we are discussing the last great concept ship of Star Citizen, the Anvil Odin battlecruiser. John, introduce us. What the heck is a battlecruiser?
So,
If we're using naval parlance, a battle cruiser is a ship that has the weaponry of a battleship in a cruiser's frame, hence the name. So it has lots of punch, very close to doing glass cannon and punch above weight jokes, but I'm not going to do that, and the speed of a cruiser. So sort of the best of both worlds in one big package.
Okay. And this is obviously a solo ship?
Yep, completely solo run. I mean, you can fly any ship with one person. It's just
Yeah, but can you do anything with it?
you can fly around. You have some weaponry with it, but really, this is you and a lot of other people to make use of it.
Who wants to do the rundown of the weaponry?
Mark.
Mark? You got your cheat sheet?
No, hang on.
We've
got a cheat sheet because
Okay,
I think
there's so many.
the only person who would be able to memorise it off the top of their head is Lee, and Lee's currently not in the country. Otherwise, he would be here and doing this. So, starting from the top, we have 2 size 12 triple ballistic cannons that are man turrets.
And for reference, what's the biggest gun on the Javelin?
It is 9s on the big remote turrets at the back.
And the railgun on the Idris is a 10.
10.
Yeah, so these are triple size 12s here.
Is there 2 of these?
Yeah.
One on the top and one on the bottom.
Well, there's 2 triples.
Oh,
There's 2 triples.
Right.
So the Bengal, the large lower turret on the Bengal that people would have seen in the squadron videos, that's size 12. So that's got 4.
Okay.
We have 3 single size 10 man turrets. So that is, instead of having dual mounts, it's a single mount.
Jeez.
We have 8 once again,
Single size.
size 10 single ballistic cannon
size
remote turrets.
10
We then
turrets,
have-
chat. Single size 10. These
Eight.
things are
I know,
huge.
it's still hard to get through. We have 8
That
size
will
8
put a hole
double
through anything.
cannons that are manned. And then there is 2 quadruple laser cannons that are also piloted.
And those
And
are
those are size 8.
2 quadruple size
8 cannons that are manned.
So essentially it's a size 32.
No,
No.
no. It's just,
How that works.
think of it more like the one on the bottom of the Bengal, where it's multiple barrels. It's worth noting that the weapons for this ship, just because of the sheer size and scale and complexity of just everything to do with it, all of the weapons are specific. They're not just using our generic PU weapons. All of them are built in and designed to specifically work with each of the turrets. Because, like, you can't just go down to your local shop and pick up a size 12.
Yeah. You can't go down to the local shop and pick up an Odin.
I mean,
So every ship that we make available through Pledge will be attainable in the game. But there's this long-standing rule that Chris and Rich have had. It's like you can't just go down to a Hertz rent-a-car and rent a battleship. Like, you're not going to get an Idris or a Javelin or whatever. Walking into Cousin Crows. It's like this. So when this does make it into the game and stuff like this, we imagine the amount of effort involved in getting this thing in will be quite fierce.
yeah.
You missed one.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, you missed the other one, didn't you?
You missed
Next line.
what's on the front of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, we did say it had some pilot weapons. It has a beam weapon of, yes, size. It is the entire front of the ship.
Indeterminable
It's a beam weapon with 12 barrels. It's 6 on each side.
Yeah, but it does combine to one giant beam, but it's a giant beam on a capital ship that's... It's a beam on a capital ship of a scale... Well, the size of the ship, as a just random jump point, is over 750 meters, and then we just have a giant beam that is the front of the ship. So,
Sick.
yes. I mean, we can give it a size, but...
This thing
Fine.
is gigantic.
I'll also cover it has a
chat.
significant suite of PDTs, flak, and other automated defense systems. There is still hot debate about the specific number of this. It's either going to be 42 plus 1 or 43. We had an interesting problem when we were actually doing the PDT
But
and
what did
flak
you do?
distribution across the ship. Because they were so small, you couldn't actually see them. So what we ended up having to do was make clustered banks of
What
them,
did it do?
just so that they were actually readable on the exterior. And there's just so many, it meant that we had nice little defensive clusters so they could cover
Uber,
each other
for
as well
some
quite
reason.
nicely.
And why do
My
you need
window
them to be
capture's
readable on the
not doing
exterior?
great.
Well,
Okay.
the reason we need them to be readable on the exterior is because part of the gameplay of tackling a ship of this
There we
size,
go.
it's going to be
Okay, I
peeling
get it.
back
Yeah,
the layers
sorry
of
about
defense. You're not just going to rock up with a couple of torpedoes shooting jobs of gun. You're going to have to take out the
That's
subcomponents,
frustrating.
take out the shield emitters, take out the PDCs and defense before you can even begin dreaming trying to either board it or disable it.
That is
So
ridiculous.
if we just had
This
the
thing
tiny
is just
little dots
a beast.
distributed everywhere, people would struggle to actually be able to engage with that gameplay. And we want people to visually know, like without owning the ship, where to target.
For as powerful as this thing is going to be,
It's still kill. It's still a kill.
it still has to be killable. It still has to be assaultable.
Yeah,
it's going to
it
end
can
up
be
being its own
killed, but
TSG just attacking one of
Take
these.
quite a bit to kill it.
So
We're not done with the weapon.
Yeah, there's one more here at the bottom.
what?
Which one did I miss?
You're missing the torps.
all the torpedoes.
I was talking, we said guns, not torpedoes.
I said weapon.
Ah, fine. It has 20 size 12 torpedo launch tubes.
What?
That can hold approximately. Remember, this is a concept. Everybody.
40 in, so 40 queued, ready to go.
Who designed
20
this thing?
actual tubes, but then you can
20?
obviously manually stock them as well. So
Hold
it's
on.
however many you could fit in your hold
Hey,
theoretically.
And how big is the
Rufus,
whole jump
Look at the
through?
background.
It's
for a second.
6,000.
What is this? Is this a Squadron 42 poster? What is this?
Tubes, but then you can obviously
Sorry,
manually stock
I had
them
to
as well.
pause here
So
for a second.
it's however many you could fit in your
Very
hold
interesting.
theoretically.
And how big is the whole jump crew?
It's 6,000 SCU in capacity. So it's
I think that's just the board number as well at this point.
it's a whole C and a half of cargo inside it.
So you'll be
How
able
many
to stock.
torpedoes is that, Jared?
We might be able to do the math.
No.
Please don't.
All right.
I'm
So
sure someone in chat can do that for us.
all right. So Alberto's going to cue up some of the imagery here that went out with the promotion. Again, I encourage you to check out all of the imagery and all the specific stats and everything on the dedicated webpage that went live at the same time as this video. It's going to be much higher res and whatnot than we're going to look here. But let's start with the first image that we revealed on social media earlier last week, or I guess it's like 2 weeks at the time that we showed this. So yeah, so here's the first image that we released of the Odin about 2 weeks ago now, a week before DefenseCon at this point. And everybody was like, where's the weapons? Where's the weapons? We've noticed this recently. There seems to be a trend towards retractable weapons, hiding the weaponry. Am I imagining that, or is that something that's actually more common now?
Yeah, I guess a few of the more recent combat ships have had that sort of visual cue in them. I don't think it's something we're going to do for all ships. It's not like a shift in kind of mentality or anything. It's just a couple of the new ships kind of all felt like it was the right decision to make. I think with the Odin particularly, there was a lot of different reference of kind of different contemporary ships that people are familiar with. And one of the things we kind of wanted to do early on was kind of just have
This
things
thing is
retracted
just
and
ridiculous,
tucked
Jared.
away.
I think this
It's
is
a
the
pretty
most
bold
bonkers
move
ship
because it's a
they've
lot
ever
more
designed.
work to make all these retractable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's no ifs about.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
it's just such a cool moment. Like it is a moment in itself when they actually deploy and show that the fangs or teeth as the ship are, as it were.
And we don't have an anvil
Completely
ship
okay with avoiding
anywhere
it for
near this
now.
size.
No.
As
But,
like the kicking off point. So
You
it's an
want one
opportunity
at
for
some
like
point.
what is big anvil?
Yeah.
And sort
What
of
is Anvil today?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think as well is you've there's two very clear different visual states when it's retracted and then when it means business. And obviously when it's retracted, you are limiting your defensive capabilities, but that's where things like the automated turrets come in. And then when it's time to party, that's when everything comes out and yeah. And a ship of this size, we could
states. When
wave it
when it's
away
tracking.
with lots of, it makes it more efficient. Everything's tucked away. It makes it kind of, a little bit, I say more efficient to fly. But really, it was a visual decision that we made early on with the vehicle when we started kind of having those very early conversations as to what we wanted the kind of like the core visuals to be. That was one of them.
This is a lovely image. This is one of the team's favorite images here. What are we showing here?
Just a cathartic moment, I guess.
Who's catharsis? Alberto,
Mine.
and what are you trying to get out? What are you trying to find in your catharsis?
No, just to describe a moment of power.
Okay.
I remember when I first saw that picture, like in a meeting, I went straight to Alberto's desk and I was like, "Can I have that like right now?" And it's now my desktop background because I was like, "It's just so sick." I remember when you first showed it me, I came over to your desk, and there was I think you talked about it from like how it was like kind of hiding in the asteroid belt, and then it would like pop out, and we talked a little bit about in the Arctic, you see these really large ships that are like icebreaker ships, and it's just insane. That's a great picture for it.
And I think that's one of the kind of core things with the concept art as a whole is there's obviously things that we want to show to kind of really show the details of the ship and like what that ship's functionality and loadout and everything else is. But then there's also pieces that we want to do that just set the scene and set the atmosphere and give an idea of the dream of what we're trying to achieve. So yeah, some of these pieces might be more art pieces than, I remember me and you had a big conversation about this and it was one of the, it was, I'm not going to say it was a heated conversation because it wasn't, but it was a there's things that we wanted to show that really put this in our universe, and then there's things that we wanted to show that were kind of like a little love letter to concept vehicles as a whole, because this being almost the end of an era with concept vehicles, a lot of work went into it, and from a kind of concept artist point of view, delivering those really cinematic shots at the end of a long period of time working on it is kind of part of the payoff.
Yeah, there's a misconception, I think, that in these concept promotions that these images are actually created by the marketing department. They're actually not. They're created by Alberto and the team that's making the ship.
Really?
It's like that. So that's what you're referring to. It's explorations by the artists who are designing the ship itself to evoke a feeling and evoke a sense and try to communicate what their feelings and sense of the ship.
Yeah.
And yes, it wasn't heated. It was a good solid conversation. And I was just like, if it hits that many rocks, it's going to explode.
And I'm like, yeah, but it looks really cool.
If it hits that many rocks, it's going to explode, Ben.
Yeah.
But we let you do some cool stuff. This next image is really cool, and this is Levski, right?
Yeah, this is Levski. It was the best way to communicate the scale of the thing, as the diameter of the hull, I think, is 5 kilometers. The length of this ship is 150 meters. So gives a better idea of what you could see and where when this will come out.
We thought that was such a big hole when we built it, and then we put an Odin in there. It's like, oh.
No, it is still a big hole. Odin's just a very big ship.
I think to build on what you said about like the key art being and like how it's like almost a love letter in some ways to all the insane work that we've seen, from like an artist perspective, and the team's grown so much over the last few years. It's these pieces of concept key art that appear on Google Images, on the YouTube videos where the backers are talking about how excited they are, and even when internally you're about to start the project and you get presented with this is the ship you're going to be making, and that's going to be your world for 5 months. That's what they're for, right? No, not that, but like, I was thinking about like specific ships in the past, like the Meteor, for example, in front of you. But the, for whatever, it could be months, and in the large ships cases, like even longer. Those moments are what like motivates you as a game developer. It's what when you go into that first call with Ben and John, and
You
they're
get a
like,
war going
okay,
on.
here's the
Yeah,
kickoff for
nice.
this is what it's all about, and you see the pictures and you're like, yo, we're gonna make that,
Yeah.
and it's like it's so
also
exciting.
about setting the vision. So like obviously the concept doesn't cover every single area, but it gives everyone an idea of what the vision is for this vehicle. So when you're making that decision about what do we do with this space,
Yeah,
what do we do with this bulkhead, we know what the intention was. So sure, they may not be realistic about everything that will happen in our engine, but it gets the vision and the narrative of what we want the vehicle, the identity.
Yeah.
No, it's nice. It's been so long since we've done a concept only promotion. We didn't do any last year at all. This is the only one we're doing this year, and then never again. So I like that we've finally been able to talk. Concepts art are these love letters from the people who are making the ship to the thing, and I've always liked that about it because we do some tremendous marketing art. Like I'm gonna put our marketing art team up against any marketing art team in the world, and we're gonna win.
Oh yeah,
But,
okay.
the
Jared,
nice thing about the concept art though is that that's not marketing. That is the people here making the ship
okay,
communicating
Jared,
from
chill
their
out, brother.
perspectives.
With like the production ships, we get that from the marketing team at the end of that stage, if you know what I mean. And so we get these amazing trailers that come back, and they're almost like that's one of my favourite parts, right? Is like handing the ship over,
your
and
marketing
yeah,
team's a bit
we
too
sometimes push it quite close to the
overzealous.
wire. We're like, here you go, sorry, it's a bit late, good luck, and then we get it back, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
like your mind gets blown, and that's really what we're trying to achieve here for our production team.
You already know the Odin trailer when the time comes. When that thing's flight ready, the Odin trailer is going to destroy everything.
Just literally, or
We're going to upload it, and it's going to nuke the entire playlist on YouTube.
It's just one.
This is it. This is it. Kat and her team do these wonderful things every once in a while where they go through the events of some of the previous trailers. Like the Odin is so big.
Yep.
Like I want to see if I can convince her. Let's go back through every ship trailer and just like the Odin was always there in the background, constantly going through.
Oh no, it was that wall that we were still.
yeah, do you know that white background? No, that was just one of the bulkheads.
Yep. All right. So how much? Any more images to look at this point?
Oh, a bunch.
Did we mention it can carry other ships inside?
Oh, there we go.
No.
Yeah.
That thing
So
is
folks have
just
speculated
huge.
on the
Yeah, look at
bays,
that.
the side. Yes, these are.
So, bay-wise, it is 6 small, 2 metric small hangars, and 1 medium hangar, and that's to the actual metric ones as well. So it's not like the pads are designed for specific vehicles. It's anything that's designated for that metric they can fit on.
Because people had seen the 3 side doors.
Right.
And so they're like, oh, that's going to have some hangers, but what they won't have seen is the larger
We'll have seen that.
hanger.
We'll get to the larger hangar inside, but yes, 6 side hangars, 3 on each side.
Six side
Big enough
hangars.
to hornets and stuff.
Battlecruiser.
Oh,
Obviously.
easily.
Cutlasses.
I think that's count as small.
It's
a medium.
You'll be able to fit cutlasses in. The
I'm not
ship.
going to get my help.
And of course, that's a concept size, and we all know what happens when a concept goes to final art.
Especially in the UK.
God.
I don't know if this gets any bigger, we're going to have trouble.
This gets any bigger.
And I think it has been like quite interesting to see 'cause
Y'all
that early
crazy.
image and the
This
hologram
ship
that's
is
been Bavaria
ridiculous.
18. People have been able to kind of make assumptions from that, but I've seen so many questions about how do the hangars work, what they're going to do, and someone's like, "Has it got fly-through hangars?" And I'm sat there like, can't say anything, but this is getting me hyped.
So 6 ship hangars, 3 on
now.
each side, clearly with the ship repair, refuel, rearming, so like that. What else we got looking at here?
Capabilities of the vertical launch torpedoes.
Okay, so yeah, these are the 20 tubes that you mentioned here.
These are the 20 tubes just in front of the conning tower.
Okay.
Well, you can have a better illustration and understanding of the front laser.
It's up front later, and that's what we're talking about, the 12 emitters on the front.
Yep.
6 on each side. You just,
Very space battle.
Have you shown this to Mike Snowden yet?
Yeah,
Have we?
I don't know.
He's seen it now.
So this may be the first time Mike Snowden's seeing such a thing.
We're gonna blow every budget.
No, we would have done it in the reviews. It's fine.
Okay. What else we got?
Just an explanation of the position and
Yep.
capabilities of the lower hangar,
Yep.
of the medium hangar is quite big. We're talking about 68 meters for 100 for 44. Relatively in X, Y, and Z, so quite massive.
The really cool thing about the hangar arrangement on this is they're sort of interconnected. So you can fly in the rear as that ship is flying out.
Yeah, they're all part of the same environment.
This is
and
big
Are
enough
the
for a
hangars fly through?
Valkyrie. But
Like
look
the
at
small
that.
ones, yeah.
You
Well,
almost
the
fit a
whole thing
bigger
is-
ship in there.
Well, the
Because
medium
the
one is as
medium's in
well.
the middle,
Wow.
and then the
Okay.
Yeah.
Pause right there. Look at this, chat. That is either a Valkyrie or a Asgard right on the inside of the Odin. Look at this interior, chat. Look at this. This has 3 terrapins with room to spare and an entire Valkyrie / Asgard. And there's still room on the pad. You can fit some rather large ships in this single hangar right. Good Lord. And these, I'm pretty sure you can fit bigger than arrows. Just saying.
medium's in the middle, and then the 6 small hangars are arranged 3 per side. But the whole thing is just open, and then at the back of that, there's then all the cargo, as well as then
Very
the conveyor
impressive.
belt up for the torpedoes to get them into the actual torpedo control room.
Yeah, so we kind of, we spent quite a lot of time playing with ideas about how the hangar could look and how it could function. And one of the things that we kind of settled on and were really excited about was having, this big kind of open expanse where you could have your kind of ships primed, ready to launch in all the hangars, but then you had enough space around them to kind of do all the operations you needed. So if you had other ships in there that were landed that were getting repaired, or you had other ships in there that were getting kind of guns or loadouts changed, or your pilots ready, you had space to do all that. And we really wanted the idea to be that you could fly in through the rear of the ship, and if you're in a big combat situation and you're like, right, recall the fighters, they weren't all scrambling to get in these tiny little hangar doors. You could load them up in through the rear of the ship, kind of get them back into their ready positions and get out of there kind of quite quickly.
So what is this? What is this room here?
So that, I know, although it looks like it's an entire room, what you're actually seeing there is the walkway that you saw at the top of the hangar. That's the sort of scale we're talking. And like I mentioned, at the bottom of the hangar, there's basically a conveyor belt that connects to the torpedo control at the top. So behind what you're seeing in that image there is the cargo grid. And what you're seeing to the left there, closest to us, is an actual constantly rotating conveyor belt. So if you want to load torpedoes, you take them from the cargo grid, put them on there. They'll then make their way to the actual torpedo control room, where the tube bays actually are, for them to be taken off the bay, and then loaded into the tubes to be fired. So on either side, there's a constant rotating thing. So if you need more torpedoes, you can just take them straight off the grid, straight onto there, and it goes up to then be manually loaded.
And we've mentioned this is a multi-crew ship. It's definitely a multi-crew ship. Like, if you want this thing to be efficient, then you will need.
Can you do this
That
by
is in the
yourself?
notes.
Yes, you'll get a good workout running around the ship.
Well, you'll get 20 shots out of the torpedo tubes,
Yeah.
and that's it, instead of as soon as it's ready to go again. Because at the end of the day, as long as there's someone there feeding it, it can just keep going.
So more multi-crew roles than just sitting in a turret. Although we do have a lot of turrets.
We have a lot of people just sitting in turrets.
I
We have
remember,
23.
well, me and Alberto were counting them before. We had to keep recounting to make sure we're getting which ones were right.
It turned out we're not good at math.
No, we're terrible at it. We're absolutely atrocious, and we made the damn thing. It was 15 manned, 8 remote, and that's just turrets, not to mention all the other things people can do across the ship.
But those remote turrets still have to be operated.
Yeah,
so
they are remote turrets. There's an entire room dedicated to that.
yeah. So what else we got to look at here?
So what you can see here as well is in the kind of like the roof of the
right.
hangars. Yeah, you've got basically your what we see is like the ATC effectively. You've got your control room for the hangars, and just a great overview of like not the battle stations, but everything else.
It's managing the cargo, it's managing the hangars, it's managing the doors, it's making sure that, you can go into Bay 3, you can go into Bay 7 because there's no one in it. It's away from the battle of the main ship because their war isn't what's going on outside, it's making sure what's going on inside the ship is working correctly.
Let's go ahead and keep the images going. What else we got? You made a lot of images for this, Alberto. So
This is the cargo area.
this is the cargo area that we learned was held
6,000.
6,000.
Plus 2,000
Plus
just for
2,000.
the elevator.
Yeah.
All right, so there's 6,000 on the hold, and then the elevator. If you want to leave cargo on the elevator, that's another 2,000.
Yeah, and that's a elevator that goes down and up between the
Jesus
medium hangar,
Christ.
which is at the back of the medium hangar.
Do we have an image of that?
8,000
Because right now you're telling me there's an elevator that holds as much cargo as the
8,000.
ironclad.
The elevator is this part with the
Yeah, that's
stripes.
So see the chevrons at the back? That's the elevator that goes up and down at the very back of the hangar.
Is that
It's
like
2,000.
red light at the top? Is that the ATC thing you were talking
Yes.
about?
See, that's the scale, right? We showed that side shot and it looked like it was an entire room. It's not an entire room. It's literally the catwalk that you're seeing on the left and right.
And when we went into this and when we got the initial brief, we were, it came out as we were doing an Anvil ship, and it's like, yeah, cool. And then we got the brief, and it's like, okay, this we can work with. And then, through each kind of point of decision we made, we were always looking at it like, this is our kind of like ultimate ship for this purpose. This is the from what I would class our kind of like end game.
Yeah.
And so we kind of, obviously we need to make it, obviously we need to deliver it. So there's got to be compromises in somewhere, but we did our best to kind of always kind of look at it and think, right, how do we make the best we can? And this is what we tried to do. And when we get into production, we get to see whether or not we can achieve it. But we put a lot of discussions, I think, and decisions into trying to get this thing to be like, really, really something that we can be proud of.
And what else do we have to look at, Alberto?
Oh, there's plenty. We have all the interiors.
We haven't even got into the
We
content.
have
This is just
go.
a hangar.
Sorry.
We're
Go.
in the first room still,
You
essentially.
want to see the general layout of the interiors?
Yeah, I want to see everything here.
How many
So
decks
this
is
was the
this
area we
thing?
just seen. Here is situated the cargo. Here is the part of the elevator,
I mean, I'm
and
just
this
saying,
one is
how
the
many
medium
decks
hangar.
is-
This is the setup for the side small.
The small hangars.
Here there is the conveyor belt you have seen early, and just above there is the loading room for the launching tubes. From here is where you will take the conveyor belt missiles and load them into the pipes. Here is your favorite room. You remember that one?
Is the one we showed in.
This was on the weekly newsletter a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. This one is the actual size of the turret when it's collapsed in itself. And we have enough space that we could put a gantry passing on the outside of the ship, but on the inside of the turret that effectively looked like this.
And just to try and communicate the sense of scale with this thing, we do expect areas like this to exist where, when you look at the ship full screen and it's just that kind of silhouette, you don't see it. But this is.
Well, the hangar catwalk was the prime example there, right? We looked at an image, we thought it was an entire room, it was just the catwalk.
Yeah, my favourite scale bit on the ship is the little zigzag ladder on the side
Oh,
of
the
conning-
staircase.
on the
Yeah.
side of the conning tower.
This
All right,
ship is
let's talk about the conning
ridiculous.
tower. I mean, we'll get to
I have to wonder how many
the
decks-
base. Oh, okay, well, let's be
18.
disciplined here. Let's continue into in the main hall before we go to the conning tower. What else are we looking at here?
We got my train, my lovely train.
Your train.
We have a train system that connects the most important parts of the ship to the most
So it has the
remote
tram
manned turrets.
system
So
from the
Similar to
Bengal.
the Bengal,
Wow.
realistically, getting around the ship
That's
is going to be a
crazy.
huge task. It
that
is an
big.
absolutely massive ship. So it has its
Dang.
own tram system, whatever you want to use the specific word for, that runs constantly throughout. It's not like the lifts where you press a button, because that's its own thing. Somewhere else where there's the lifts to get up and down, there's multiple of them. But just because of the sheer size, we had to set up something to get you around. So there is multiple trains running in a constant loop so that people can navigate the ship.
Will it be like how on Microtech you have like the trains?
Exactly like that. We needed something of that scale because the ship is colossal.
Yep. And when the tram leaves its path and takes you up, out in the thing, it's a escape pod functionality.
We'll get to the escape pods. Don't worry.
Let's hope they work. By the time this comes out, transit will be should be much better. So no, there's already tremendous improvements that are in now. All right, let's go back. Oh no, we still got more in the hull here. We still got more in the main hull.
No, in the main hall, I think we're done. There is another room for the other size 12 that is on the bottom.
There's areas of the ship as well that we're not quite ready to show yet. So there's the front area that's
We're assuming engineering.
Yeah.
Engineering, habitations, the mess area, because obviously it is designed to be a multi-crew ship, so there is substantial crew quarters and stuff, but obviously the amount of time it took to even assemble what we have so far was substantial.
Now, I think folks who have followed the project this long know we don't concept out every single nook and cranny, every inch of the ship. You know, it's enough to get the idea across. It's enough to put the work in motion, because then when it comes time to build it, there's going to be other people who have ideas and inputs and stuff, and new thoughts, new technologies come online and stuff. So the less there's a benefit to not being super prescriptive in every single aspect of this, because it leaves us the freedom later to have better ideas. Yeah. And so okay, so now let's go ahead and look into the conning tower here. The kind of a signature element here. I know folks online are like, why would you create everybody knows where to attack now. Obviously you attack at the conning tower, right? Because, well, it looks cool, so that's what armor and shields are for.
It's well protected as well.
Components are elsewhere across the ship as well.
Yep. So what is this?
This is the tactical room to study your map, to study your fleet, to collect data. And above is a quiet room.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we tried to kind of like think about when we were making this is we wanted to try and include some areas of the ship that weren't just
focused.
Yeah, just combat and functionality. We wanted to have some areas that gave the crew some freedom to relax.
Yeah. So here's our next image. What are we looking at?
This is the room where the captain and the higher ups will manage the fleet. Also thinking about...
Yeah, so a lot of ships have hollow globes in a room, and this sort of has many rooms that are for the hollow globe just because of the size of it.
Very tall.
Very tall.
Okay.
And don't want to focus on it too much, but we wanted to have little kind of areas of the ship where if you needed to have more private conversations, you needed to, there was areas that were away from like the main thoroughfare that would allow for kind of planning and discussions and
planning mutinies and stuff like that. And just
I'm not saying planning mutinies.
Not.
Yeah, what are you trying to say, Dan?
It's not Drake.
And then inside the big turret. So is this actually the seat that controls the turret?
Yeah, that goes up into the turret.
So you enter this room full of death, and then you get in, and then you get pulled up to dispense such death.
Correct.
Okay.
That lets you understand what you're about to have at your disposal.
This is okay. So the scale of this turret alone. This is the. All right. I ran out of words. All right. What else? What else we got?
We have a parliament.
You can plan me.
Of course, we have a parliament. And what's a parliament?
So I thought that since you're driving destroyers of wars, you should be able to dispense it democratically or not. But in some ways, you should be able to communicate your crew what the plan is.
This is the equivalent of our briefing room, but taken to the next level.
It's
a bit more lyrical, I guess.
With a ship of this size, it's going to be crewed by a huge group of people, and obviously people aren't required to be there, because at the end of the day it's a game, people having fun. But it gives orgs and groups a location to meet and gather and discuss what they plan.
I think it's safe to say this is an org ship. This is a ship you leave and you don't come back for a while.
Well, you take your ships to this ship to then go off and play the game.
Okay, and the bridge here. So we got a couple images of the bridge, I would assume?
So front and center, obviously commanding officer, captain, owner, it's the person in charge. Off to one side, they have their head of security. So they'll obviously a ship of this size, someone needs to be in charge of just making sure the inside of the ship is running the way it's meant to be. And to the left side, obviously it's an XO takeover when the person who owns the ship or commands the ship needs to go off and do something else.
Okay.
In addition to that, there's a cool little feature that we added to the actual commanding officer's dome. Do we have a picture of it?
The video?
Yeah.
You want to go to video? Let's go to video.
Yeah, let's go to the video. So if you need to have private, confidential conversations, just like how in real life you'd have proper meeting rooms for it, the captain has a way to actually generate one themselves on the bridge to have that conversation away from everyone. To then, well, it's a reflection of those times where John asked me to come into his office and close the door behind me.
So you've literally made the 1960s Get Smart Cone of Silence.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
And the idea is you know, if you are captain of this vessel and you need to have a very confidential conversation, but you are in the middle of a battlefield, you need to happen there and then. You need to be able to make that decision, have that conversation, and get on with it.
So this is for all the remote turrets. So obviously, like I mentioned before, there's a lot of remote turrets on the ship. So there's an entire area. Basically, it's not a bridge per se, but it's a control center for all the different remote turrets across the ship. It needs it. At the scale it is, we can't just shove them in the bridge. They need somewhere dedicated. So they'd have their own priorities and conversations.
I appreciate you don't make them run to every corner of the ship.
Exactly. Well, we've got a train for that, so they don't need to run.
There's so many opportunities with like a dedicated room like this, like for artists to come up with
That's
like new fun
ridiculous.
ways of like
This
expressing
ship
stuff. So
here
like something that jumps out to me is like, you know,
breathes.
if you've got all those people sat down in their remote turrets, like having some kind of just like an indicator
This
light
is one
saying that
ship,
the seat is
unfortunately,
occupied, like a
I'm
little
probably
green light
never
above it.
gonna-
So
Oh,
if you're like the
yeah.
boss and you're walking in, you're like overseeing all the remote turrets, you just see green all around. It's like, all right, my crew's ready to go.
I
Well, one of the
wish, I
features
mean,
that needs further development
I would
is
love
the
$5,000.
communication
Thank
between
you.
the turrets and the
You know?
command and control and stuff. Like I'm
just
sure somebody
saying.
saw the command and control room
I would
earlier and was like, well,
love
what's that for? And stuff like this. Eventually,
But
you know,
who-
someone will
who
be
would
there
be
able to
willing
feed
to
targets to all
donate
these people and, you know,
to
and
my
control
Odin
UI
fund?
elements for everybody
Thank
that's
you.
in there. And, you know, shows like, no,
Please and
show
thank you.
here. Your
I'm
guy is
joking.
over here.
I
You
am
need to look
joking.
here. You need to go here. It's
I
like,
would
you know,
never-
the 4 of you are on this guy. The 4 of you are on this guy. Something like this is essential to something like the Odin. So having all of those guys in one area, and then having a command and control that can communicate with them. Now imagine imagine one of the guys goes down or something. You know, armor piercing round, or the guy forgot to hydrate or something. And wasn't paying attention. Dies in his chair. You know, somebody can get out and run to the other turrets. Like, no, they're on this side and stuff. The abilities for coordination within the Odin are just immense. Like, I would say, not even the ability of coordination, the raw necessity of coordination necessary for this ship. I mean, this is not the ship that you buy. Yes, technically, you get in the pilot seat, you can fly this giant spear around the universe, but the full potential of this thing requires just a massive amount of coordination.
And this
between
is
people.
also how are we gonna like deal with the gameplay in general with the ship, right? So like we want to let you achieve the full power and let you, undergo all your combat operation, and potentially doing so, but just with the crew, because otherwise, like, yes, you have a pilot-controlled weapon, but what are you gonna do if like most of your armament is not gonna be coming to play into a battle, right? So.
And what is the crew of this thing? The expected crew?
The cheat sheet here.
33.
Yeah.
33 folks.
33
So-
really is like
33 people.
That's bare bones.
Yeah, that's
like- that's bare
minimum.
bones.
Really
Yeah, yeah.
automated.
Operator turrets was there?
Like, we're talking bare bones, not even working at
Yeah.
full efficiency. That's not even saying there's anyone feeding the torpedoes. That's just to man the operator seats. That's the sort of numbers you're talking.
I feel like when it comes time to balance a ship like this, that's probably the biggest thing. If you can get 33 people together if you can coordinate 33 people together, it's like you deserve to
It's
just
a
be,
big crew.
the Norse god of everything.
Well, it's like whenever you have a large group of people playing games together, there needs to be someone who is doing a little bit less of the interaction, but managing everyone, actually getting them all to coordinate. It's like anyone that's ever done raid leading in any sort of MMO. Like, that person absolutely isn't outputting the highest DPS in the group, but they're taking a step back and watching everyone
We've literally
while
made
doing
the 40-man raid spaceship.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was about to reference, was it's the 40-man raid experience, but it's you with your org, your friends, going out and having that gameplay for an evening and having your cap ship to run for.
Yeah, and the best part is also, it's like you have different specialities, right? Because you need fighter pilots, then you need turret gunners, then you need engineering, then you need the guys that actually coordinate the entire crew, and probably more than one guy at that point, because it's going to be very difficult. So like,
raid leading's a really unique skill. Like whenever you play MMOs, there's only ever a handful of people that are even willing to do it.
Yeah.
And they choose to do it because they enjoy doing it. But it's a very unique set of sub-skills. If anyone who is a raid leader or has ever been in a raid will understand just how different it is as a way to play the game.
It's like an epitome of sandbox kind of emergent gameplay, really. It's like a role that doesn't necessarily get put in by the game design teams, but it has to exist.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't create your character.
Yeah, you don't-
It's like raid leader is your class.
And what else do we have to look at?
We close with a photo shot of everything opening up.
So yeah, this is a
Moment. It just is.
When you see that, it's time to run.
Well, at that point, you're like,
no. When
maybe
you
we
see
should
that,
go
it's
to
time to
Parliament.
die.
If you're not ready to quantum travel, it's too late.
No, it's a.
that's assuming you got that close to look at this.
Only if it lets you.
It's a heck of a good-looking ship. I mean, it was interesting to see the reaction online when the first teaser image went out. It's the first image went out on social on social in the morning, UK time, and then the first shot of the interior went out in the afternoon, and then the 3D hologram version with the weapon. So it was fun for a nice little 24-hour period to watch the perspective of the ship change. There are some people who absolutely hate this thing, and some people who are like, "This is the most beautiful ship I've ever seen." Those are people with eyes.
Hashtag not biased.
But I mean, it is. Let's talk about the inspirations for this thing on the exterior. What are we thinking when we build this?
So we wanted to convey that this was inspired by a battleship. Sadly, in sci-fi, there are other ships inspired by battleships, so we had to differentiate from these ones and not going into the steampunk or World War II aesthetics. We initially tried to group all the guns in the center, like you would do in World War II, like on the USS Iowa comes to mind, a famous Japanese one that I will not mention. Instead, with the fact that they all have to operate in a video game, they don't have to compenetrate, we started spreading them, and that aesthetic will no longer be supported. So we decided to look actually at the Zumwalt class, at the Literate combat ships from the US, at the Visby class from Sweden, all the more modern stealth ships, and yet retain the conning tower aesthetic that there was in World War II ships and that got lost after then. But we want to hint at that word with a little bit of new.
Well, this has been an amazing look here. Let's go ahead and take a few minutes now at the end here and jump into. Now, this is an engine. This is you work in what, Blender?
Yes, this is Blender. This is Brown actually. But
so we're gonna let's take a look at the actual concept model now. Some folks have already extracted the concept mesh from the hologram as they do, but this is the actual legitimate one.
Yeah, and just a note on that hologram mesh. It is a optimized isn't the correct term. It is.
It's reduced.
It is a reduced version of what we're seeing here. When Alberto kind of handed this over, I mean, this thing's sat at 30
7
plus,
million polygons?
37 million polygons. That's not something we can just put in game. So yeah, there was a lot of decisions made to just kind of like just strip out a lot of that stuff to get it to run above Area 18. And also it was a hologram. It wasn't supposed to be a concept. This is the real deal.
All right, so let's get closer here. Let's take a look. What do we want to look at this point? We've just seen a whole bunch of images and and some videos here, but what can we look at here that we would like to get real close to?
We haven't looked at the laser beam yet.
Let's look at the laser beam.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's start with the laser beam.
When the laser beam activates, these side pieces that were not in the hologram model will open up, and they are part of the laser beam in order to become part of the target. Ideally, they are the radiators of the laser beam itself.
With something so massive, we need justification for why it doesn't just overheat. In addition, it adds a targetable aspect of the actual laser beam, because if you obviously once you start peeling back the defenses, it gives it a nice area to be targeted to try and knock that out. Because I imagine if you're targeting the ship, you're going to want to knock the beam out.
Yeah. Is that the first thing you target? Is that the first thing you take out, the beam?
Well,
I mean, or do you just not get in front of it?
I mean,
Depends what you're in.
Fair. That's fair.
If you're in something small, just stay away from the
front.
from the
Yeah,
front.
I do feel like the first tactic in fighting an Odin is don't be in front of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or behind it, or beside it.
The big guns above it, the big guns below it.
Can you jump
in
into
the same
the
server as it is a
docking
Batman.
collar area and the little like
Yep.
walkways that you've got?
Oh, we haven't looked at the staircase.
We can walk around it, right?
All right, so it does have a docking collar.
Yeah, so it's got a docking collar, and then also there's it's kind of hard to see, but we added some like exterior kind of like walkways and channels that you could walk through. Yeah.
Oh my god, the sense of scale.
Hang on, who's that?
So when Lee
worry.
was trying to sort the navigation for the ship, we didn't want it to be too simplified. We want people to be able to go onto the actual exterior, but at the same time, we didn't want loads of issues with the grids and the physics issues that we sometimes encounter. So we ended up trenching all of the exterior walkways behind behind mesh. But it's graded mesh, so you'll still be exposed to the elements, but you don't have to worry about debris or stray shots hitting you. But it meant that we had this, to be blunt, an entire level's worth of navigation that the designer who primarily did a lot of the layout for the Flo Lee.
So you're going to be walking around the exterior of this.
Well, you've got to, because just to maintain some of it, you're going to have to go out and do a lot of the repairs. And there's alternate routes for when the power goes down on the inside, like the staircase on the conning tower. And obviously, it's a full staircase, so you get some sort of idea of just the scale of it. The first time I saw that, I immediately thought of the Midgar Tower in Final Fantasy VII, when you have the choice to either run up the giant staircase or go up the lift.
Just damn.
Wow. What else can we look at?
I really looked at the engines on the back of it in any of the shots there. They
That
are
is
very big.
All right, we'll do the engines next. What are we looking at here, Alberto?
at the protection for the bridge.
Shields!
Of course, the bridge is armoured. That was
Someday,
so
wasn't it?
cool.
We wouldn't just leave an unarmored.
Love a blast shield.
All right, so you've got like the Carrack made by Anvil, nice little brand carryover here.
Yeah.
So you've got the shielded conning tower. One assumes you don't go blind when you close it.
No.
Okay. And then a little Star Destroyer influence here with the radar globe.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the top of every contemporary ship. So
Star Destroyer.
Star Destroyer. Oh, okay. Inside here there is your Parliament, so there's a quite nice call to the circular motif of Anvil.
You've got the escape pods here as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about the lifeboats.
Lifeboats.
Yeah,
The lifeboats, a bit more than a typical escape pod.
Yeah.
just for the sheer volume of the ship, we couldn't really just have tiny little pods, so that they have entire rafts and they're scattered throughout the entire ship. The ones on the conning tower are the most visible because we didn't want to fully embed them, just because we would have had to increase the size of the conning tower even more.
Right.
So obviously, if somehow someone manages to peel back in millions layers of defense and you need to escape, There's plenty of rafts there.
And so there are lifeboats in the tower. There are lifeboats in the main hull.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just below here.
Well, yeah. So so if somebody does manage to take one of these down, and one would assume that those are somewhat pilotable.
Yeah, they have limited control, but they're essentially like tiny little habitable environments.
Let's take a look at the engines. Oh, you want to show the? Okay, you want to show the underside of the gun? It's cool. Let's see the underside of the gun.
Alberto, would you be able to go into like walk-in mode in Blender and like show the scale of it from the catwalk? Blender has this really cool mode that allows you to like walk around, so we can really appreciate how big it is.
I don't think anyone, until they actually get it into game, will ever understand just how big it is. It's absolutely ludicrous. And this is just on the gun. This is just the walkway next to the gun.
This explains why we needed a train.
I mean, yeah.
I feel like that gun is the size of a Carrack.
It is 1/3 of the Polaris, I think.
The gun is 1/3 the length of a Polaris.
Or maybe a half.
Polaris is about 160 meters, so call it 80 meters.
Yeah, it's not far off a Carrack in size.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Sorry, engines.
Yeah, let's look at those. Let's look at the engines.
So there are a bunch of engines.
As you would need, because that's the cruiser element of this.
It's also partially gameplay. It's so
Hey,
that
Goldie.
obviously if there's just one engine,
This thing
take it
is
out.
just
But
huge.
it means that you
I
have
don't
multiple that you have to
understand
disable to try and
how
stop the ship
they
moving.
came
Because
up with
that
this
would be a
concept.
good tactic if you want to try and actually disable one of these. First of all, immobilize it. Then you can gradually
This
work
thing,
on
I don't
individual
think anyone
areas
should be able to
to try and
adequately,
get into whatever state you want, whether it be destroying or boarding.
pilot it or anything.
Can we go inside the main hangar there?
I have to open another file. But
Open another file. Okay.
just to point out the engines, we have this one,
Might be able
obviously
to,
the central
but
one and the side ones, but there are also on these little winglets on the bottom and on the conning tower.
There's an engine on the conning tower.
Little ones to avoid, the tower to be dragged away by inertia. To distribute better these forces.
Amazing.
Okay, let me find the other.
I thought you were going to tell me the conning tower detached.
No.
It's actually a parasite. And
No.
Okay.
Slap the direct command
That
module on it.
reaction means he thought about it. That reaction means it came up at some point.
We had that conversation maybe about a different ship earlier today.
How interested are you in public transport when you think about battleship?
Need a rail card when you board this ship.
It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stops.
6 stops.
Okay.
Wait, the tram has 6 stops?
Yeah.
What are the 6 stops of the tram?
So you have obviously your 2 foyer entrances for the docking collars.
Obviously.
You have your very front man turret.
Okay.
You have the underside man turret.
Okay.
And then you have the 2 man turrets at the back. And they also put you next to the main elevator thoroughfare.
Yeah, and that's before you've done all the habitation
I was
and
going to
stuff
say,
like that.
I think
so
we might have
that's
more,
6
to be honest,
stops
mate.
right
reckon?
now.
I'm not
That's
convinced
6
it's going to
stops
stay at
right
6.
now.
But, yeah.
Mattia had to go. He had to catch a train. We've been here for a while. If you ever notice, this is the longest BTS we've ever, or anything on a single ship we've ever done. So he unfortunately had a train to catch. Not this one, a real one. But so now we're going to jump inside the hangar area. Where are we?
This is the lift that you can see here, this opening on the left.
Yeah, so the right cargo hold, so directly behind is the 6000 SCU. That is the lift that connects to the medium hangar, and that's 2000 SCU. To the left and right-hand side are the catwalks that take you to the small hangars. So if we just spin round. Oh,
I felt out. Sorry.
All right, so how many box missions can you do with the Odin?
at least 3.
All of them.
So directly behind.
0 to hero.
So there's the metro stop for the actual trains. So that's obviously it's mirrored on both sides of the hangar because it might be quicker to get the train round. We're not 100% sure yet.
Right, the hangar is so big that the tram runs around the hangar. It might technically be faster to take the train
Sorry
around
about
the hangar
that.
than it is to
Step
walk
out,
from one end to the
Sharon.
other.
It depends how many stops we end up with. At the minute, we're looking at about 6, but more might be added as we evolve the other spaces inside of it.
Yeah, one of the main stops is also the center of the conning tower, so you would have the elevator to bring you to most of the living room, the living spaces.
And when you get to the center of the conning tower, it's elevator.
Well, elevators.
Elevator.
Yeah,
multiple,
a bunch.
Yeah, because of the fact that we, obviously, when there's only one elevator, we've already had it on the Idris where people are waiting.
I thought this was already the most deadly ship ever designed, but now, with multiple elevators,
Oh yeah.
I can safely say the most deadliest ship ever designed.
Do you go back to where the smaller hangars were? Sorry about that.
Remember that these are concept mesh, folks, so none of these are textured, materialed.
So this is the metric small hangar, and what we were talking about earlier, where just behind that you've got this additional space to kind of that's all kind of chevroned off here as your kind of like ready area. You've got the like the blast shields that would rotate up when vehicles need to move around within that space.
There's also it's for the actual flight crew to do resupply and changeover. So if you decide you want to swap for ballistics instead of energy or vice versa, you can take them off the cargo bridge, bring them down so they're ready to swap out on the ships as they come in to restock. So if it's not just rearming but actually changing loadouts, you've got plenty of space for the crew to get ready for the... Imagine like a pit from a Formula One.
Or just stack more ships, which is what
most people
are going to do.
Which is we were very conscious of.
Have we at any point tried to
Look
work
at
out
that
how many pit bulls we
interiors.
could fit in this?
I'm sure there'll be a Reddit post. Run the numbers, guys.
If there's not a Reddit post by the end of the day, I'll be very disappointed that no one's done the math.
That is,
I await your link.
I mean, that is crazy when you think about how many Furies, how many pit bulls you could conceivably put into this. Yeah.
This is the scale of our game in one ship, right? So you know, you think about do you remember the old Peopled Planet video we did?
It's just
This is like the ship's team's nod back to that.
Well, how big was Port Olisar?
It was a couple of K, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Of the actual space, that not just the...
Oh, no,
the
yeah.
actual...
The actual habitable space.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Port Olisar.
I would suspect
less
this is
than that.
probably bigger.
Yeah, you're probably right. This is actually more habitable space than Port Olisar had.
really
Well, okay. Anything more? Anything before we leave? We've shown. Don't give me that look. Alberto's like, I've got so much more to show. You can show 2 more things, Alberto. What do you want to show?
I've shown everything, to be fair.
Show them Bran.
What's your favourite image?
What's your favorite aspect of the ship, Alberto?
My favorite image, that's a good question.
I'm not going to judge you.
It's the Parliament.
Wait.
Your favorite's the Parliament.
Wait.
It is. Oh, I know why it's the Parliament.
Oh,
Oh, I know exactly
there
why
he
it's
is.
the Parliament.
Oh,
there he is.
there you go.
That's why it's his favourite image.
Yep.
Yep.
You've hidden your dog,
Yeah.
of course.
All
He
comes
doesn't
back
come
to
with
that.
every Odin, just to be clear.
Not yet.
Comes with everything else.
I was gonna say. It comes out. So of course, the Odin for this first promotion that's launched today. 5 unique paints that are exclusive to this promotion.
Yep.
So if you manage to pick up an Odin as part of the Odin Founders Club during this promotion at DefenseCon 2956, those 5 paints come with it, free of charge. They will never be made available in any other promotion. It's
stupid.
our way of saying thank you for being there and supporting this massive undertaking from the get-go.
That is
Any
stupid.
last
I don't
words
agree with that.
anybody wants to say about the Odin other than it's really, really big and it's going to take a lot of people to run it?
And make it.
Yeah, and make it out.
It's going to take a lot of people to make it too.
I think over the development and like when we took a peer behind the
Really,
curtain,
really
or walked over to Alberto's desk, like there is this like sense amongst the team that this is going to be something pretty immense and seismic, literally. I'm looking forward to seeing which team creates it and how, because we're going to have to like do a lot. I think Ben made a good point where he's like, our teams like from in the last like few years has been, it's so much like larger and it's so much more educated that it feels like we're in a position where we can tackle these problems now and we can really start to, we always try and push the envelope, but really see like what can we actually really do.
I can promise you, hand on heart, Dan, that the Odin is going to generate more than we could have ever imagined.
Are you talking about money or what?
Problems, Jared, problems.
Problems.
Wake up the Anvil team.
John, what do you think they've been doing the last few years?
The positive thing is that I will be drawing all the concepts and I don't have to cover that part.
You still got a lot. You still got a lot more to do. There's still plenty of areas.
Yeah, we got the two concept cheat sheet.
left to do. So we've got. Oh, you do have a cheat. So you do. So we've seen the hold, the torpedo launching room, the ammo rooms for the size 12, the map room, the contemplation room. Lots to contemplate. The turret's control room, the conference hall, and the bridge. We have unfinished concepts, things that we're not showing you right now for the hospital,
Yep.
for the morgue,
Yep.
for the engineering that we mentioned, habitations, and the executive briefing room. So those are all in progress right now. They're not quite ready to show. Things still left to concept.
Subject to change.
Subject to change. Work's not done yet. Navigation engineering, how is that different than, the second, there's the engine engineering, then there's navigation engineering, okay. The train stations themselves, the executive quarters, an armory, additional crew quarters, the self-sustaining
Cantina?
cantina? What?
Question mark?
What is the self-sustaining cantina? What do you mean self-sustaining? What does that mean?
Is there a farm on
That
this
was
thing?
your idea.
That was me.
What? Are you on about a grow room again?
And I loved it.
We're bringing back the
Subject to
groove.
change.
Subject to change.
Subject to change.
Mixmaster.
I don't remember writing it, but I'll
Mixmaster lives.
Yeah.
It absolutely will have a mess hall. It may not have a self-sustaining mess hall.
Yeah.
Basically, we wanted a
Greenhouse.
greenhouse.
Yeah.
Oh, a greenhouse.
Okay, that's kind of odd.
A
It
gym,
will have a kitchen.
a rec room, a panic room.
Question mark. I don't know.
That's next to the contemplation room.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, but one's on fire.
Yeah.
Turn
Yeah.
the panic. Right, contemplate.
It's just a button that changes the effect in the room.
A crafting room, because obviously on a ship this size, it's gonna a crafting room,
Yeah,
and then
they
a
have a
running
huge
track. Well, that's just the exterior, man. You just run around the entire exterior.
No, that's a marathon.
There is a path in the train tracks
Yeah.
that will allow you to run all of it in case running is
You just
your-
got to run the same
is your
speed as the
favorite
trains go in, otherwise you're in trouble.
Well, one would assume that through engineering, if you're really fighting for power, you could draw power away. The tram stops working. You need that power somewhere else, and you still need to be able to get around on foot. So, all right, and that's who knows what we're going to add between.
I mean, that doesn't cover stuff like the multiple lifts or
Or how many
Shouldn't
100
be
bathrooms we're going
How many mavs it's got?
Oh yeah,
how
how many
taps?
bathrooms?
Two.
Just two
and
taps.
one.
Two on the entire
It's got
ship.
2 taps every bathroom.
750 meters away from
That's a
each other.
promise.
It's a promise.
Taps in every bathroom.
That's the 2-tap promise.
So that's
Okay.
a lot about the
Let
Anvil
your
Odin,
talk now,
Star
please.
Citizen's final concept ship and its largest, available right now on robertspaceindustries.com exclusively to members of the Odin's Founders Club. Those are folks who took the time and effort to submit their stories about why
Some of them were
coordination
stupid.
and
Jared.
cooperation
You're not
was
gonna
so
go over
important
it,
to
but
them in the
some
Star
of those
Citizen
stories were
experience.
stupid.
It's a big, I think it's a hallmark. Star Citizen is replete with a number of hallmark moments. At 4.8, the launch of tactical strike groups and the biggest step towards coordinated ship-bound gameplay and combat that we've had, and then of course this, putting a nice little marker in the ground for the future and being like, this is where we're going, and the kind of gameplay that this creates, and the kind of gameplay necessary to deal with it and stuff. It's a clear calling our shot to the evolution of space ship and space combat gameplay in the future. So it's an exciting thing to work towards. John.
Done, mate.
It's been a long day, Anna.
We've been here.
What you need is Alberto sat next to you again.
I was going to say, where's Alberto?
Alberto, where are you? Needed you.
In my head, it just said, I call him Young Squire for some unknown reason. That's all my head was giving me. My head was giving me Young Squire. Dan, Chris, Mattia, who had to take off, Mark, Ben, Alberto, our friends on the cameras. Here, we don't usually have cameras, but we wanted to have so many people here. You can't see them, but they're here. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, I'm sure you're paid, but thank you anyway. And of course, Seb, Lauren, Dave, Pete behind the scenes, our big show this week. Thank you for watching. Hope you're having a lovely Defense Con. I hope you were able to get everything that you wanted. Remember, the finale comes after this, where most of the ships, I think actually all the ships that have been available on the various days, all come back. So you still got another chance at Kraken, still got another chance at Idrises, at Javelins, and of course the Odin Waves right now for those in the Founders Club. So thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting Star Citizen all these years. We've still got a lot coming the rest of this year, and if I already look at the ship schedule for 2027 already, there's a lot more spaceships to come. So thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.
Pause right there. And just second chat. I'm a little disappointed that they did not. Okay, I do have a bone to pick, and this is why. People may not agree with me on this massively, but I don't care. I think it's stupid that we have to play F5 Wars and write a stupid essay just to buy this ship. It's kind of dumb to me. I already have spent, in my case, and this is going to sound a little conceited, I have already spent almost $14,000 on the project. And yeah, it sounds rather conceited. I get it. But at the same time, I think Concierge should, beyond a certain level, should have the ability to have access to purchasing an Odin if they have the funds. You know, I'm just saying. To me, that makes sense. This doesn't. This is like totally flipping a thing in that's been a staple for almost over a decade of the game on its head, and I don't like it. In fact, I'm not very happy about it because some of the responses I've heard during the Odin Club inaugurational stuff were stupid. There were people who were more deserving of the ship that got passed up, and instead people who got taken up on it and got it. Have any of you all seen the posts that I'm talking about, or the rumor mill about it? Because I sure have seen some of them. Some of them are not a good look for CIG. I'll put it that way. You know? Not actually a very great look. Normally, I would just be like, "Oh yeah, it'll pass." You know, it's just, you know. But this, yeah, man, I'm sorry. I'm gonna hot take, really hot take. I'm not too thrilled about the way the Odin. This whole year, there's been a subtle underlying shift. CIG's attitude toward the way things used to be taken. If anyone hadn't noticed, I'm not very thrilled about it. Whether deliberate or not, it's not a great look. What do you think, Rufus? Are my concerns justified? Maybe a little bit with how I feel? Just the tone of how things have been going lately? Maybe I feel like I'm just being a little too hard on. But it doesn't feel like I am, really. I mean, it's a complex feeling. On one hand, I'm happy for the people that managed to get the ship. But on the other, I'm like, what about the long term people who've already spent a lot of money on this game that might have deep pockets that already are here, you know? Wait. And normally, chat, I'm not as big of a complainer as usual. It's just this whole bit has kind of soured my opinion a bit. Now, what am I? Hmm. 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 What? Yeah, it is frustrating, especially when you admit you love a game, but it is what it is. You know, luckily I have other projects I'm watching. I'll probably be playing some of coming week. I don't like talking negatively about this project, but man, it is seriously frustrating when you can't reliably count on bug fixes, other things. It's fine. I'll deal. It'll be fine. Basically, I'm going through my hangar right now, seeing what I have and don't have. Sorry if I'm quiet, chat. Kind of what I'm doing right now. Double checking. I don't see anybody transmitting nothing. Okay. Right now I'm going through my hangar to see if I need to sell anything. So yeah. So yeah, it's frustrating having to constantly in this to make stupid decisions, in my opinion. I fully believe they've made some dumb decisions. I don't care if people get mad saying that, but I really don't care. Sometimes the truth hurts. Okay, what am I upgrading? Well, okay. Trying to rebuild my fleet, recompile a bit. Fine. After I do a bit of bookkeeping here, might jump in and do some mining, but I don't know how long I'll be. Could be a bit. Might not be at all. We'll see. I'm going to get off here for a bit. I'll be back.